Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic Defense Podcast. So, as you guys can probably see from the title, I'm done with Socrates Son. Now, I'm going to explain what happened. And my original plan was to watch his response and then make another hour-long response, and then I'm gonna end it there. But now I feel like there's no point. Like there's no point in talking to this guy, and I'm going to explain to you why. So he made another 30-minute response to my video, and he repeats the same thing over and over again. Like it baffles my mind. It's like he doesn't get it. He's repeating the exact same thing that I refuted in the original video again. Like even if you talk to a wall, you're probably gonna have more progress than this. And this is ridiculous. And you know what? I could go and refute every single thing he says in this video, this half an hour video. But again, this would be a waste of my time, because he's not engaging with the argument. You know, in my previous video, I showed how he misrepresented me and how he slandered me. Instead of apologizing and admitting, okay, you know what, I misunderstood you. What's your actual position, or what are you saying exactly? He doesn't do any of that. Instead, he doubles down and defends a completely indefensible position. And then he's gonna say he won the debate. This is ridiculous. So let me show you guys exactly what I mean. Okay, so he brings his first argument, and this is what he's saying. Premise 1. You gave a single argument, quote, science doesn't deal with absolute truth, quote, unquote. I said nothing, absolutely nothing about science dealing with absolute truth. Absolutely nothing, nada. He cannot show a single instance where I said that. As a matter of fact, he even admits this in the video. Did I ever say that Royal Institution said that science is an absolute fact?
No, you didn't say that with the exact words.
He said that you didn't say it, but you implied it. What the hell does it even mean? So you're imagining implications in your head now about your opponent? Is this how you do debates? Is this how incompetent do you have to be to find imaginary arguments against your opponent? Is this how you do debates? This is so ridiculous. And then he has premise 2, which makes no sense. But anyway, so in premise 2, he says that yet the exclusive point of the Royal Institution's video was how scientific theories differ from the everyday use of the word theory. Yeah, that's exactly what I responded to. That's literally what I responded to. So he's accusing me of strawmanning, and yet in premise 2, he's demonstrating what I exactly said. As a matter of fact, I said literally this in the video. In my the video I made, the one before my previous video, I said exactly this. Okay, so at one point of Royal Institution's video, they say that, and they make it very clear, that you can dismiss other theories, but you cannot dismiss theories of Einstein and Darwin.
We can dismiss someone's idea about something by saying it's just a theory. But we can't dismiss the theories of Darwin and Einstein and other great scientists in the same way.
Which means that their position is that scientific theories have a higher position than other theories. Okay? And this is exactly the argument that I responded to in my in my all the responses I made against this clown in my previous video and the one before that. That was the point I responded to over and over again. And I explained this to him over and over again. And he's again repeating the same thing. It's like he's incapable of understanding that he's been refuted. It's like he's incapable of admitting that he has been refuted. Or that he's wrong. He's incapable of it. He cannot admit he's wrong. And I knew he was going to do this. You know, when I made my initial response, I knew he was going to do this. I knew he was going to repeat the same thing. Without any justification, any logical explanation, he's going to repeat the same thing. And he's doing exactly that. Then premise 3, it says that you named your response Royal Institution Exposed. Yeah, I named all of my videos, or many of my videos, quote, this person responds, Sam Harris exposed, or Richard Dawkins exposed. What am I exposing here? I'm exposing their weak arguments. That's what exposed means. Exposed doesn't mean that I think Royal Institution thinks that scientific theories are objectively true. So these people who, and take this as a lesson, these people who promote scientism, such as Socrates Son, they are incapable of critically analyzing the scientific method. They are incapable of it. They think science is some kind of a religion. And he's demonstrating that over and over again. See, if people like Hamza Georges or other philosophers of science have not pointed this out, these people would continue to make this kind of absurd claim that science is an absolute fact. And people do make this claim. And they have this absurd notion that science is the most reliable thing in the entire world and nothing else matters, without any justification. And when we call them out, they said that we're doing sophistry. So there's no winning with these people. They don't care about logic. They don't care about what's actually true or not, because as you can see, I refuted him over and over again. In my previous video, if you go back, I spent like 12 minutes responding to how he misrepresented me in the video. Instead of admitting that okay, you know what, fair enough, I was wrong. But no, he doubles down. And he repeats the same thing without any evidence. I have never said that science doesn't deal with absolute truth. This is why it's not reliable. That was never my argument. My argument was always that Royal Institution, and again, this is in response to Royal Institution, they are always saying that science is better than other theories. And I took objection to that argument, because the condition is that XYZ things make science better. And I'm showing that it doesn't make a difference. And if it doesn't make a difference, you cannot say that this is better. Let me give you guys an analogy, right? So imagine someone comes to you with this phone, right, and says that this is the best phone in the market. It has great glass and great plastic, great color. It's an amazing phone, amazing looking phone, and this is the best phone in the market. And then when you try using the phone, you try calling a few people, you realize that the phone call doesn't work. When you're calling people, sometimes the calls don't get through. And then you go back to the guy who sold it to you and you tell him, hey man, this phone is not working. I mean, it doesn't, when I call someone, oftentimes the calls don't go through. What's going on? Then imagine the guy who sold the phone to you keeps saying, no, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. This is still the best phone in the market. And no matter how many times you explain to him that no, you cannot say that this is the best phone in the market when it doesn't function properly, This guy's going to repeat the same thing over and 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 over again, because he doesn't care about whether the phone is actually the best phone in the market or not. He's already made up his mind. He doesn't care about the truth. And that's exactly what Socrates Son is. He's a debate junkie. He's a scientism proponent. And he demonstrated that again in this video. There's no point in talking to him. And this is why that guy who sold this phone to you, him saying that this is the best phone in the market, despite the fact that it doesn't always work, and he still says that this is the best phone in the market, is the same reason. If this is the reason that you cannot say that this is the best phone in the market, is the same reason you cannot say that science is the best, most reliable way to the truth, because it gives you false conclusion. You cannot call something that gives you false conclusion over and over again the best and most reliable way to the truth. I have never said anything regarding science. I think that Royal Institution thinks that science is absolutely true. I have never said this. But he made the claim that I did. So I went back and checked. And again, I realized that I didn't say this. So then I again clarified that when I'm talking about theory, I'm talking about reliable theories. And when I'm talking about, when I made my initial argument, my main point was that Royal Institution position is that scientific theories are better than other logical theories. My position, and I disagree with that, because I showed in the argument that the reasons that they gave, the XYZ reason, which apparently made this theory better, they don't make a difference. And I literally explained that in clear words, and I explained that twice now, because I also explained that in my previous video and on the video before that. I mean, how many times do I have to explain it? Do you want me to go on for forever repeating the exact same thing over and over again until you get it? Because you're not going to get it, because you don't care about what my actual position is. Okay? You care more about making me look like an idiot, or making me look like misrepresenting me and lie to your audience, than you care about what's actually true, about what's actually my position. You cannot deal with my actual position, and that's the truth. And this is the thing. So these people who promote scientism, this thing is hardwired into their brain. They're incapable of understanding the nuances of their opposition. They're incapable of understanding the fact. So they already brainwashed themselves into thinking that whenever a Muslim or a philosopher, they criticize the scientific method, they must mean that when they criticize it, they must think that science is absolutely true, and that's why they're criticizing it, and which means that they think that if they criticize it, that means that science is not absolutely true. Right? This is what they think. Even though we literally clarified that this is not what we're saying at all. And yet he keeps repeating the same thing because it's hardwired into his brain. Like, he can't logic himself out of this. He's brainwashed. So, and this is why no matter how many times I explain this exact same point, he's gonna say the exact same thing. And it's not gonna go anywhere. It's just gonna be a waste of time. And I can already hear the arguments he's gonna make from now on. He's gonna probably again misrepresent me. Then he's gonna accuse me of strawmanning him, possibly. Then he's gonna use a bunch of logical fallacies. He's gonna contradict himself over and over again. And still, at the end of the day, he's gonna claim that he won the debate. Another thing, by the way, and this is funny. So he challenged me to a formal debate, right? By making a 30-minute long video response to a 5-minute video. 5-minute video. Now the video was very clear. That my arguments was very simple. He couldn't deal with the arguments. So he had to make an hour-long response strawmanning my argument. And again, I clarified. And my clarification was like half an hour. In response to that, he makes a 2-hour long response, 2.5 hour long response for a 35-minute video. And he still couldn't refute my argument. He still couldn't deal with my argument. Again, I showed that in my previous video. And again, he's repeating the same thing. Again, you be the judge. Like, if this was a formal debate, I mean, he already lost the debate. Because at first, in response to my 5-minute video, he took 30 minutes. Then for my 30-minute video, he took 2 hours. Then for my 1-hour video, he's probably going to take another 2 hours. This is not how debates work. In a formal and academic debate, you have equal time for both parties. You don't have 4 hour long for one guy, then only half an hour for another guy. This is not how debates work. And you know what? I could go and he's probably going to make like 20 videos about me, and he's going to do the exact same thing that he did in his previous video. And again, he showed that he doesn't care about the truth. He only cares about making me look bad, strawmanning me, misrepresenting me. And if that's all he cares about, then there's no point in talking to him. No matter how many times I explain this to him, he's not going to change his mind. He definitely doesn't care about what the truth is. And and this is why I'm no longer going to engage with this guy. And let this be a lesson to you guys as well. If you're an atheist, or if you're a Muslim, or whatever, if your opponent is not sincere, don't engage with them. This is one of the main key components of debates or discussions. You have to be sincere to both be critical of your opponent and yourself. And you know what? I'm gonna criticize myself here. In my previous video, I insulted him in various different places, which is not right, and I should have done that. If he wants to, he can call me out on that. He'll be right, and I would agree with him. Right? This is how you criticize yourself, and I would agree with him that that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. But he's incapable of it. And this is the difference between me and him. He's not sincere. I don't mind being wrong, but this is not acceptable. Even after I have explained that he is misrepresenting me, he doesn't care. It's like it's going through his one ear and it's coming out of the other one. So yeah, and this is why I'm not going to engage with him any longer. There's no point. One of the main rules of debate and discussion is that you get an agreement with your opponent, right? Some kind of agreement. But if your opponent doesn't care about what your actual position is and keep attacking a straw man, then there's no point in talking to him any longer. It's a waste of time. And this is really sad, because this shows that these people don't care about the truth. They're more interested in insulting or mocking their opponent, or strawmanning their opponent. Okay, so then he uses this absurd logic, and I'm just gonna show a little bit of it here. So at one point he says that A, you did a straw man, and you did imply that the Royal Institution claims science deals with the absolute truth. How did I imply it? God knows. Even though I literally just clarified it. As that was the exclusive reason you gave to your initial video to refute the Royal Institution. I have never said that Royal Institution's position is that science is the absolute truth. I have never said that Royal Institution's position that I'm saying that because science is not absolutely true, therefore it's not reliable. That was never my argument. So he makes this claim and shows no evidence for it. Imagine if I make a claim about him, right? Without any evidence. What would be his response? Then he says that by saying science is changing, in other words, claiming science doesn't deal with absolute. First of all, these two things are not the same thing, and I didn't even say that science is changing. Again, science doesn't change. Scientific theories are scientific theories. They get proven wrong. If they're proven wrong, you reject them. That's not science changing. That's science being rejected. Okay? Science failing. That's science failing. It's not science changing. And then when science fails, they will say it's a victory. They will say it's the most reliable way to the truth. Even though in front of their eyes, I'm showing you examples of its failure. And they will still say that this is the most reliable way to the truth. Also, here again he's saying that by saying science is changing, in other words, claiming science doesn't deal with. Saying that science is changing is not the same as saying that science is absolute. That's nothing to do with it. But even that's not my position. I didn't say that science is changing. Again, like if I have to again explain this for the 100th time, there's not going to be any point to it, because I already said this 100 times and this is the last time I'm saying it. My position is, you cannot say something is reliable or something is the most reliable thing when it cannot do its job properly all the time. You can't say that. Imagine if I look at an athlete, right? And this athlete have a track record of losing. Imagine if I look at an MMA fighter, right? Imagine Khabib, right? We know that Khabib is probably one of the best UFC fighters of all time. One of the reasons they say that is because he doesn't have any losses. Now imagine in a world where Khabib fought a bunch of people and lost many times. He had 29 matches. Imagine he lost like 15 times. Would people still consider him the best fighter in UFC? No. No one would consider him even close. Okay? Because he has losses. He would still be considered a great fighter, but not one of the best. And that's the point. And this is really sad, because this topic is actually quite an interesting one. Because, is science the most reliable way to the truth? I mean, it is an interesting topic. But these people don't care about this topic. They just want to, and that's the truth. Like Socrates Son doesn't care about the truth. He only cares about making me look bad, making Muslim apologetics look bad. And that's his initial goal, because he want to brainwash his audience into thinking that Muslim apologetics are the worst thing in the world. He is right, like the atheists are correct. So his goal is not to actually engage with the topic, but rather engage with smearing campaign against the Muslim apologetic, which is why I'm not going to engage with this guy any longer. Because he doesn't care about the truth. Which is sad, because this was an interesting topic, and I would love to discuss this with a person who is sincere. And this guy is clearly not sincere, because no matter how many times I explain the fact that he is wrong, he's not going to accept it. Even if I point the finger at his eyes and show him that no, what you said here is wrong, he's still not going to accept that he's wrong. And this is why I'm not going to engage with him. But anyway, and this was a disappointment, and I knew he was gonna do this because I know how his. I've debated people like Socrates Son many times. Okay, these people, and a few years ago, I think, a few months ago, I made a video titled, what was it called? Don't be a debate junkie. And this guy is a debate junkie. Okay, he only cares about debating. He doesn't care about the truth. He doesn't care about changing his opinion. Because if he really wanted to change his opinion, he would admit that what he said was wrong. This is not my position. But again, he keeps saying this, that he keeps strawmanning me and saying that this is my position because he cannot attack my actual position. And yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. And inshallah, I have a few projects lined up, and I just need to get this out of my system because I'm done with this guy. There's no point in talking to him. I mean, discussing the, again, I put out a community post where I described that discussing the topic of, is science the most reliable or the truth with Socrates Son is like me discussing what is the purpose of life with a psychopath who just escaped the asylum. Right? So yeah, there's no point. Like he doesn't care about changing his opinion or position. He's not sincere or open-minded, so there's no point in talking to him. So yeah, and that's the end of this Socrates Son saga. I don't care. Like, he's probably gonna make 100 different videos about me, but I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna respond to it. And yeah, I have a few projects lined up. Inshallah, I will make a video on China and another one on Hinduism. Inshallah, those videos will come a few days later. But yeah, again, thank you guys for watching me ranting. But yeah, but again, remember, take the lesson, which is that don't misrepresent to your opponent. And another thing that to take away is that if you realize that your opponent is not sincere, stop the debate. There's no point in going any further. Regardless, with this I want to end this video. Again, thank you guys for watching. Look out for my future videos, and yeah, thank you guys for watching.
I just want to add one last thing. He said that I'm using sophistry. Dude, you are the one who had to make a 30-minute long video in response to a 5 minutes video. If you have to make such a long video to try and refute such a simple and short video, then you are the one doing sophistry, not me. You need more time in order to explain your sophistry. I'm not using sophistry, which is why my arguments are short and simple. My videos are not the example of sophistry, it's the opposite.